Let's take a look at the different Pentecostal groups in India. If you're like me, maybe you've wondered why there are so many distinctions between Pentecostal churches that seem so similar. Like most Indian churches that go through different splits, the Pentecostal churches actually have more commonalities than they do differences. A few of the main churches are the Indian Pentecostal Church, the Church of God, the Assemblies of God, the Sharon Fellowship Church, and the TPM. For a bit of context, most people attribute the Pentecostal revival as starting in 1906 at the Azusa Street Revival, but the Indian Pentecostal revival actually predates this by a few years. In the late 19th century, Pentecostal revival began to break out in southern India. After the arrival of missionary Robert F. Cook in 1913 in southwestern India, Pentecostal movements began to break out all across southern India. What's interesting is that in the mid-19th century, many of the pioneers of the early Pentecostal movements were all in the same communities. So Robert F. Cook, Pastor K.E. Abraham, Pastor Paul Ramankuti, and Pastor P.J. Thomas and others were all around each other at different times, and many of them were also a part of the same church at different times. So of course, a lot of their theologies are very similar. Most Pentecostal churches in India ascribe to a holiness Pentecostalism, which essentially just means that they uphold a conservative and modest lifestyle. And one of the key points is that a spirit baptism is signified and evidenced by speaking in different tongues. Whether it's elders or overseers or the congregation as a whole, or specifically in the TPM case being centralized under one pastor, that is basically what separates the different Pentecostal denominations. What's interesting and beautiful about Pentecostalism in India specifically is that if you go to different churches, a lot of the services will actually look very similar. Specific to the Church of God and the Assemblies of God, these two denominations are global with churches all across the world. There are also TPM or New Testament Church or UPC churches all across the world as well. Let me know your experience with Indian Pentecostalism and follow along for more discussion of Christian history across the globe.